Have you failed at anything in your life? Great, then this podcast is for you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Elevate from Failure podcast. I'm Jan Smith. I am the founder of BrodieBlog. We're a boutique marketing agency. I'm here with Danielle, who is an ADHD coach. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. And today we're going to go ahead and dive into being neurodivergent and being an entrepreneur and kind of going through setbacks that we faced, whatever we're comfortable to share, how we've overcome those setbacks, and also kind of what we're maybe dealing with kind of as a lifelong journey, because healing and our journeys are not always linear. So, Danielle, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm well. Thank you for having me today, Dan.
Well, I want to talk about being an ADHDer. I know you also treat those or help those who are on the autism spectrum. But I have ADHD. I'm a late diagnosed, and often I'm an entrepreneur, which I think definitely suits those with ADHD. I am often told that I do too many things, or maybe I'm always doing something different, even though while I'm doing this, I'm also in the art space. So, of course, I'm doing something different. You have to, but to sustain yourself. But can you maybe talk about um, maybe the best roles for someone with ADHD and kind of what maybe neurotypical people may not understand with the professions that we have?
So, first of all, the biggest thing to understand as an ADHDer, so I am AuDHD. I'm the combination of autism
Oh,
and ADHD. So
spicy.
I've got both sides of it. It depends on what day, what you're going to get, which side of my brain you're going to get. But one of the biggest things to know is we don't do just one thing. There is no perfect profession because I know ADHDers and autistics in like every profession known to man. There is no one profession for us, but there's also no one thing for us.
Mhm.
We need multiple things to do. So I currently own four businesses and accidentally
Oh.
started one more. And no, I'm not kidding. I accidentally started one more because that was my hyper focus and that's where I went. And understanding and having the right support systems in order to do that. Because ADHDers will start 9,000 businesses. This is pretty common in the entrepreneur world for an ADHDer to jump, 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 jump. But none of them succeed because they're jumping around too much. And
Yeah.
I think for me, where I have found the most success, because I am successful, I have built and sold six businesses. I am now building five more all at the same time. I wasn't planning to do them all at the same time, but it happened. So let's go with it. Is having the right support systems.
Mhm.
Because again, there is no profession that's perfect for you. So what's your interest? Do you have 12 interests? Great. Well, let's figure out how to create the best support system so that those 12 interests can become businesses and do well and not
Mhm.
suck the life out of you.
Ah, that's awesome. And that's refreshing to hear that like you have created multiple successful businesses and you're totally okay with it. Like there's no shame. This is what my life looks like, and that's perfect for me. So that's amazing. So for someone who has ADHD, and maybe they're working a 9 to 5 right now, or maybe they're it's kind of an entry level thing, and they kind of feel like bored or maybe trapped, as I felt, and they want to become an entrepreneur, but again have like 20 different ideas. Do you have advice for that person on
One,
how?
find your support system.
Okay.
And for a lot of this, so I'm going to say this. This is what worked for me. Does this work for every single one of us? No, because we're all different. Not every ADHD is exactly the same, or any autistic or anything like that. But this is what has worked for me. The thing that made me success is having co-working or slash body doubling and having it when I needed it. Did I need it at 5 a.m.? Do I need it all day long? Do I need it only at 2 a.m.? What do I need? And how
Mhm.
do I need to package that constant support? And it's constant because I need human interaction. I need human interaction that's not going to judge me for whatever I happen to be working on, whatever I'm thinking. And two, also accountability in that. So when I get on body doubling, I'll say, hey, this is what I'm working on right now. And somebody will check in with me in a half hour and say, what are you working on? And not in a, you should be working on this. Why aren't you doing it? Hey, what'd you get distracted with? Hey, what are you working on?
They know.
And it's fun because you could see another ADHD. Once we're used to each other, we could see somebody go squirrel brain and pick up their phone and they're scrolling TikTok and they're not working on what they said they were going to work on.
And I know
or whatever
that it's a
it
distraction,
is. But
still.
But if you have 12 ideas, pick an idea a day and work on it until you find the thing that you're going to hyper focus on.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have to create our own novelty and interest. If we're not creating our novelty and interest, we're never going to stick with it. That's the biggest thing is one, have a system in order to take action. So what's your system to take action? For me, that's body doubling. Two, keep trying until I find the thing that I'm going to have the most interest in so I can hyper focus on it and work on it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you need to have squirrel brain, and I encourage all of my entrepreneurs to have at least one squirrel brain a day or squirrel brain day a week. Sorry, had a hard time saying that. And do 12 things in one day. Go for it. Our brain needs that and wants that. Maybe you're doing 12 things at once. Squirrel brain day for me could be playing a game on my tablet, having my computer sitting there and shopping on Amazon or whatever. I could be watching a movie on the TV. I could be doing a craft and have my Kindle open and listening to music all at the same time. Now, my husband walks by and goes, oh my gosh, what are you doing? That is overwhelming. How can you do any of it? And my brain is just humming and so happy and getting so much dopamine from bouncing between all of the things all at the same time.
I really like that. I like the day of being an ADHDer and I love that. Like, I think
and if you want to do 12 craft projects all at the same time and have everything out. Now, I do have a system for helping you clean up and get back to life and get back on task so that you could do the things that make you money. But enjoy those times and allow your brain those times. I think that's one of the biggest things that our culture has taught us is that that's bad. It's not always bad. We need squirrel brain. We need it so bad. And denying ourselves that, I think, leads to part of our burnout.
Mm-hmm. So it's not actually like diving into our squirrel brain. It's like kind of maybe the shame and oh no, this is bad. I need to be focusing on this. But then 30 minutes later, going back.
Mm-hmm.
So that in itself leads to the burnout. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Exactly.
Well, yeah. So do you recommend body doubling and such so the biggest thing I struggle with is packing. So when I'm traveling and when I've arrived somewhere, things just naturally, I just spread out my stuff. And when it comes time to pack, it's just panic. So would you
body
recommend?
doubling to pack, body doubling to clean your house, body doubling to call the doctors and make all your doctor's appointments that you need to, or refill your prescription, body double to wash your dishes, body double to get ready for bed at night, to remember to brush your teeth, and all of those things that we have a hard time with. I have a client that will come into body doubling and she has her camera off and her sound off, but she body doubles to take a shower. Because taking a shower is such a hard thing for her. And
especially
when you're body
your
doubling, yeah. When you're body doubling with other NDers that really get you, you're co-regulating yourself.
Wow.
There's a lot of somatic healing. It comes from being in a space where you're safe, you're seen, you're heard, you're accepted, and egged on for whatever it is you're trying to do. Is that cleaning your house? Great. Is it packing? Is it making those doctor's appointments? Is it sitting at your desk at your day job and having us on your phone camera to help you stay on task at work all day long?
Ooh, I hadn't thought of that.
So right now you can't see this and I can't show it. I can't show it on camera, but I have 9 people in this body doubling because I run a body doubling for Neurodivergence. And I've got 7 people here. This one is silent over here on my left. And this one, everybody's chatting and they're listening to music. Somebody is currently dancing on screen. I don't know what that is because I can't hear, but they're getting the dopamine that they need in order to complete tasks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I definitely need to try that. I've known that, but to actually take the step and do it.
And it's always uncomfortable at first. anytime you join something new, it's going to be uncomfortable. So I always tell somebody 15 minutes. The first time, set a timer for 15 minutes and just join for 15 minutes. That's all you got
Mhm.
to do. And then the next day, 15 minutes. And for a whole week, if you can make it for 15 minutes, 3 or 4 days, you've succeeded. Okay, the next week, let's try 30 minutes, a couple days, and just build up to it because we don't like to do anything. If we try to go all or nothing on something, it's going to fail us. If we build it
Mm.
up in tiny little steps, we're going to succeed at it.
Ah, I like that. I like that. So most of us kind of know the distinction, or maybe we don't, I don't know, but can you please um, describe the difference between ADHD, autism, and AuDHD?
So ADHDers, we tend to be hyper, but there are kinds of hyper. There are physical hyper, and that we tend to think of that little boy sitting in the back of the classroom hanging upside down on his
I
desk
made
is
myself
that
a little
kind of
boy.
hyper. Not all of us are like that, though there are some that are. Even women, there are some women that are hyper like that. Um, and then there's internal hyperness where it causes anxiety and rejection sensitivity dysphoria and total disorganization where we go on a hyper focus and clean our whole entire house and we label all of those pretty bins and everything is perfect for all of 7 days and then it totally falls apart again. That's another version of ADHD. Then there's the version of ADHD where complete and total isolation and stuck because you're so stuck in trying to make decisions that you end up in executive dysfunction and have decision fatigue to the point of depression and anxiety. All of those can be ADHD.
Mm.
All of those. Autism, hyperfocus is one of, I mean, ADHD is hyperfocus too, don't get me wrong, but autism hyperfocus is a very, very different thing to the point of becoming a PhD in it, like literally going and getting your PhD because you can. And it's a Tuesday and you can become an expert in less than 20 hours when it takes 10,000 hours for your average neurotypical person to become an expert.
Wow.
Autism also may have a hard time communicating emotions, might have a hard time. Not all people with autism do, though. So
Mhm.
I am autistic. I am actually considered a level 2 autistic, which most people see that is totally can't look somebody in the eye, can't have a great conversation, can't show emotion. I am definitely not that, but I struggle with level 2 autism and I have for years. I
Mm.
was non-communicative as a child. I didn't speak until really, really late. That's not
Mm.
always true for all people with autism, but it's pretty true. We tend to be super mega high achievers. We tend to be the geniuses in class.
Mhm.
And then we overwork ourselves into burnout and executive dysfunction and autoimmune diseases. That happens to a lot of
Oh,
women with autism.
oh, joy.
And then you've got AuDHD where it depends on the day. I could either be extremely hyper ADHD, extremely internalized ADHD, extremely hyper autism, extremely internalized autism, where I will finish a college course in less than 2 hours. And yes,
Ooh,
I've done that. I have
wow.
5 degrees because I collect them.
Oh, I have a friend like that who, yeah, she has like 4 degrees, and like I don't think I'm quite at that ADHD where I would do that. I would just tap out after like 30 minutes.
Hmm. And for me, I have done most of my college. Like I said, I have 5 degrees, and I've done most of it non-traditionally, where I test out everything, where I study the book myself, I walk myself through everything, I learn the whole entire thing, and I go in and take the test and walk away. Because I have no
That's
patience to sit
incredible.
through a whole entire semester's worth of classes. Oh, give me a break. I can learn that in half hour. I don't need to do that. That would drive me insane. So there are lots of different kinds. If you meet one person that is neurodivergent, ADHD, autistic, has learning disabilities, I have 5 learning disabilities. You would not know that
Mm.
because I've learned to accommodate them. And I have a physical disability. I have MS. So if you are like, what the heck kind of chair is she sitting in? I'm not. I'm sitting in an adjustable bed because I can't handle sitting in a chair.
Mm.
So learning to accommodate yourself how you need to be accommodated, that's one of the biggest things. And I think as an ADHD coach, that's one of the biggest gifts I can give clients is teaching them what accommodations they need so that they can create their own accommodations in their life, not just making sure they're wearing headphones at work. I mean, yes, that's a fantastic accommodation and I preach it all day long, but what other accommodations can you give yourself? Because we don't often think about accommodating ourselves and our needs.
Mhm.
Squirrel Brain Day is an accommodation.
Wow. I definitely want to implement that. That sounds really fun and freeing and just like, yeah, just let me be world. Let me
Hmm.
be
Exactly.
my neurodivergent self. Um, so would you label being neurodivergent in whatever capacity that is as a like would you literally say that's a disability or would you kind of alter it and say oh it's a challenge or it's
It
just
depends
something the
on
world
the
has
person.
to
Because I will say today, it's not a disability for me. Do I have days where being autistic and ADHD is absolutely a disability? Yeah, absolutely. I have days that it absolutely is. One of my best illustrations for this is Iron Man. And yes, I have Iron Man that sits on my desk. Tony Stark on his own. I want a Tony Stark. So if anybody has a Tony Stark that's just Tony Stark without Iron Man, please get it to me. Tony Stark on his own is very smart. He's a genius, but he is ineffective and annoying and a jerk and a horrible person.
Mhm,
But the minute he starts putting all of these pieces, and these are all individual pieces,
mhm,
he becomes Iron Man. He's unstoppable. Like literally, he saved the world. He's unstoppable. But the biggest piece that he's got is Jarvis in his head. That helmet contains Jarvis, which is a second brain. When we
mhm,
have something or someone that can be our second brain, we become unstoppable and neurodivergence can become a superpower. Even if, and I've seen this happen, I have a client who communicates with just an iPad, does not speak at all, is in a full wheelchair and has a seven-figure business because he found a second brain, a person that can be his second brain, and a thing that can create everything that he needs. And he has all the accommodations that he has created for himself
mhm,
to be super successful. But it's about the accommodating yourself.
mhm.
Because is autism a disability? Absolutely. Can ADHD be a disability? Absolutely. When you don't have the right support systems in place.
Oh, okay. So so would you say that let's say autistic people AuDHDers would you say that they are or can be geniuses like literal geniuses?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have 260 of us in my program, and we all took an intelligence test at one point. On paper, we are literally all genius. Every single one of us is a genius. Everybody.
Like Sea World, like see.
But again, nobody in the world can see that unless we're creating the accommodations and being able to put ourselves out there in the best ways possible. And unfortunately, we've been treated like we have disabilities that don't matter by
Or just
school
dismissed
systems
because
or dismissed or whatever, and we become one of the big, well, not the biggest, but one of the biggest socioeconomic downfalls because we can't earn enough money, we can't stick with jobs, we can't. There's these long list of can'ts
mhm,
when there could be a long list of absolutely possibles when given the right support systems.
If you're an entrepreneur, you can do a lot on your own. But with a reliable team on your side, you can go even farther. I'm the owner of Blog, and we are a full-service marketing team. Whether it's increasing sales for your business or making sense of the analytics from Instagram, Facebook, and so on, by developing a strategy with the media channels that align with your highest goals. Whether you want to take your business to new heights or have a passion project that you want to transition into a business, having the right team will help you to reach your goals while actually saving you money. For a complimentary consultation, send us an email at this address and follow us on these social channels.
no. Yeah. Um sorry. Brain is not braining. I'm like,
ADHD,
oh,
woohoo!
caffeine, I need caffeine. Um oh along those lines, So so I'm an ADHDer. I don't take medication. I really don't want to, although I've heard positives and negatives of it and not. So my unofficial medication is caffeine. And I like coffee. I love coffee, tea, of course, but with coffee and anger. No, I'm kidding. Um, so what is the correlation between having ADHD or AuDHD and addiction?
We're looking to self-medicate. We're looking for dopamine. We're looking for novelty. Dopamine is a big thing. I mean, we're looking
Yeah,
for dopamine. And
it's like the
how do we
shiny
get that?
object thing,
The
right?
shiny object, but we're looking for to balance the brain chemicals. How do we balance our brain chemicals? And there is a much higher correlation between ADHD and drug addiction, like serious drug addiction. We actually work in drug addiction recovery. We have a lot of clients who come out of recovery and come into our um, program because we can support them in day-to-day life because we have to replace that dopamine somehow.
Hmm.
So caffeine, absolutely. You can be addicted to caffeine, nicotine, worse. There are worse things. Food, very common
Yeah,
addiction. Sex is another very common addiction for the neurodivergent crowd.
yeah.
Um, so addiction is really, really high, but again, because we're seeking for those chemicals that our brain isn't getting the way it needs naturally, because we're not wired the same as everybody else. I say everybody else, but I swear 75% of the world is neurodivergent. So there are very few
Ooh,
neurotypicals.
I hadn't thought of it like that. I think it'd be like half, but wow, you
No,
think
I think it's much
75?
higher than that. I'm pretty sure
Wow.
it's much higher than that.
So do you think people suppress it?
Oh,
Like
yeah,
suppress,
absolutely.
like they're just like, no, I'm not neurodivergent. I'm fine.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that mask. Well, and part of that can be from trauma because being beaten, literally beaten for bad behavior in school, being picked on and shamed, all of those things as children. Neurodivergent children hear 20,000 more negative words about themselves than a neurotypical child does.
Oh my God.
So can we trauma a child out of ADHD? No, but we can trauma a child into mental health issues,
Yeah. Yeah.
unfortunately. But it's very, very true, especially in a neurodivergent community.
Yeah. Um, I had a thought, but it just went away. That's what happens. This is a very, very neurodivergent episode here. Oh,
Real
okay.
life.
It came back. It came back. That's also what I've learned is cycling back is like totally okay. It's like life.
Absolutely.
That is what happens. I want to talk about rejection sensitivity disorder.
Hmm.
I think growing up, it was kind of labeled, at least for me, as like um, just being like weak or like not being confident. Like you should be confident, like, and that type of thing. But actually, neurodivergents really struggle with rejection, but also like perceived rejection or just overthinking. And even like, I feel like at times I've misread an email or a text or something. And then 30 minutes later, I'm like, you know what, this wasn't so bad. So, can you kind of talk about rejection sensitivity disorder and kind of maybe the beginning stages of it to like when it can get actually really crippling?
So rejection sensitivity can be thinking about a conversation you had 20 years ago and being embarrassed about it now. I mean, we've all had those
Like a
kind of
meme.
thoughts. Yes, exactly. But it could also be reading that email wrong or being terrified of going into a meeting that you don't know what's going to happen. The best way through over dealing with RSD is companionship. Honestly, having somebody that you can share it with, talk it through with, because somebody else, even if they're neurodivergent and not a therapist or an ADHD coach or anything, as long as they're neurodivergent like you, they're going to understand, they're going to accept whatever crazy thing comes out of your mouth, because sometimes the crazy reasons why we have RSD are just that. They're pretty crazy. But having somebody accept us and talk us through it and bring us back to logic. Well, is that really true? That's not what that said. Let me look at that email with you and I'll help you read it. Like having somebody who come alongside you and hold you up. Community, your tribe is so important to successful life and decreasing a lot of the symptoms to neurodivergence. Not getting rid of, decreasing. And how can it decrease? One, it can make it shorter. Instead of getting stuck in RSD for weeks or months on end, you could be stuck in it for a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
Since you get to that person that you can share with. Or having them laugh at you and go, okay, back it up. Let's clean your house. This is not a reason to be embarrassed. Let's go. And walking, literally walking alongside you.
Mm-hmm.
Having companionship in somebody that is part of your neurodivergent tribe. And I think this is one of the big things is neurodivergents tend to self-isolate and isolate because of shame loops or RSD or whatever. And then we get stuck in that and we get and it can cause some pretty serious mental health issues on top of already being neurodivergent.
Mm-hmm.
And when we have others that are like us, we're less likely to get stuck in things. We're less likely to get stuck in those shame spirals, RSD, any of those things for very long at all, because we have somebody to go to and say, hey, look, this is going on. Help.
Mm-hmm. So when we do have friends, colleagues, coworkers, family members who are neurotypical, or should we just go ahead and communicate, I have ADHD, I may, or if we, yeah, like, do we say that or?
You need to feel safe.
Okay.
And unfortunately, not every space is safe. I wish I could say, yes, always tell everybody you're ADHD.
But then
It's
it could
hard to
be
say
like something they could use as like
against you.
to make
Yeah,
fun of
it
you,
can,
or
and
like, I don't know.
especially in work situations, unfortunately. I mean, I see it all the time. I'm helping a client with an ADA case right now because it was used against him at work. So, I
Oh,
mean,
oh, sorry,
do I see
sorry, I
it all
shouldn't
the
ask.
time? I'm sorry, can't tell you.
Yeah,
but but
that's okay.
but it happens all the time. So you have to have your safe spaces. We have to have safe spaces, and work is not always a safe space. And sometimes our families are not always a safe space either,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
sadly,
So
yeah.
build your tribe for who you need, because the world isn't, unfortunately. I wish I could say it was. I'm trying to make it that way. I'm working hard at that to advocate and do those things, but
Mhm.
it's not there yet.
Mhm.
So if you build your tribe, build your space outside of everything else in your life, you're going to have a place to go to. That is
Mhm.
so important.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true. Environment, where we how we surround where we surround ourselves with, that's super important.
Mhm.
So I want to go ahead and talk about what you offer, where people can find you, who you treat.
So we treat everybody with neurodivergent chronic illness, those who support those with neurodivergence and chronic illness, and those who, when I say support, friends, family, parents, that kind of thing. But we also work with therapists, teachers, professionals, and leadership training, advocacy. We do all of those things. We have 4 different buckets that we do it under. And we have a really unique program. We have all day on demand coaching. So when I say all day, from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central, on-demand coaching and co-working. So we do online Zoom calls. So like I said, I have 2 sessions going right here. Here we have a silent version all day long from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central, and a chatty version. She's not dancing anymore, so I don't know what was going on there. But we have both versions going on all day long, and they're supported by coaches. So if you want to chat in the silent, just in the chat, then ask the questions, get the support immediately when you need it, instead of waiting for your once a month therapy appointment or once a month coaching appointment, things like that. We give on demand all day long. We also have trainings available on there. And in the next 2 weeks, we will have a custom app for it as well, with our own online community and all of that. We're launching desktop first, and then in April, we're launching in the app stores.
Oh,
Why are we waiting to April? Because it's Neurodivergent Awareness Month.
oh,
So we're
how
going
didn't
to
I know
launch in
that?
the app stores for Neurodivergent Awareness Month. It's called ND Hive. So find us at ndhive.com. And the big thing is our commitment and our mission is to offer support as cheaply as we possibly could. So the
Mhm.
cheapest we could go was $19.99 a month for 10 plus hours a day of on-demand coaching and online co-working for $20 a month, 5 days a week.
Oh, oh, that's awesome. That is so exciting that you have an app coming out. That is awesome. Yeah, I think the more resources, just the more resources that are out there, the more that I think hopefully the stigma will be reduced as much as it can of just like and just being able to be yourself, to be your neurodivergent self, and have the support that you need, especially when you need it. I think that's super important. And kind of on that, we have some time left, but I also want to talk about kind of the unusual work styles that neurodivergent, specifically ADHDers, have of kind of being night owls and that type of thing. I don't know why I kind of expected the world to kind of just be more open to it in the social media age, but it's really not. It's very much like the 9 to 5 and the typical. So, yeah.
You again learn to accommodate yourself. How can you accommodate and live in the world you need to do? So you design a job that you can work until 2 a.m. or start at 2 a.m. if that's what you need to do. My son did that for years. He created his own business specifically so he could sleep on his own schedule. Learn to accommodate yourself. And if you don't know how to do that, that's where like ND Hive comes in. Come in, ask those questions, and there's like 4 or 5 coaches that will help you create your own business so that you can support yourself in the way you want to support yourself. We will help
Oh,
you find your talent or develop the talent you need or whatever to live the life you want to live. We deserve to be happy and not depressed and frustrated with everything all the time.
you know, that's awesome. I love that that app is coming up. Um, and so kind of to finish off this amazing episode, if there's somebody who is an adult or maybe they're approaching adulthood and they've just found out that they've just been diagnosed as a neurodivergent person, or maybe they're self-diagnosed, what's one tip, like one thing that they can learn from, or maybe they can tell themselves to kind of ease into that transition of
You
that
aren't
awareness?
broken. You might have a disability. That doesn't mean you're broken. I promise you aren't broken. You just haven't figured out the best way to do things for yourself yet. You are not broken.
Oh, yeah. I wish so many of us like knew that when we were kids.
I wished I would have
So,
known that. And I didn't know
yeah,
it until I was in my 20s and had a child that I decided was not going to feel broken.
yeah. Oh, well, that's awesome. So, do you have anything else that you want to share with
So
listeners?
if you're looking for information and want to know more about being
Sorry, automatic
ADHD,
lights.
all of those things, please check out ND Out Loud on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. We have a media company side. We have a YouTube channel with all kinds of neurodivergent content on it, some shorts and longer videos, all kinds of things where you can just start learning about being neurodivergent and a lot of real life talk.
Oh. And really quickly, this show is called Elevate from Failure. So, with whatever you're comfortable sharing, has there been a specific time in your life when you've felt like you failed? Maybe you felt like there quite weren't many options for you, but then you've found a way to work through that challenge, and that's something that's like a testimony for you.
So, absolutely. So, my biggest thing is I was in my 20s. I had a toddler who is chaotic as all get out, and I was falling apart after having a child. Many of us who are neurodivergent fall apart. That happens to a lot of us women. And I couldn't find support. And this was back in the early 90s when there was not internet like it is now. And it was so hard to find anything. So, I went back to college and got my degree to become a therapist. That still didn't answer because I got a whole chapter in my textbook about being neurodivergent. That wasn't helpful. So I went looking and I was determined that my son wasn't going to live like I was. And I lost a $12.5 million client. I was going bankrupt. They were suing me for my house, all of those things. I had to figure it out. I had to figure it out. And I started making people that I worked with body double with me all day long. And when I started doing that, I started getting things done. And when I started getting things done, I started learning more. And when I started learning more, I found more people to do things with me at night so that I could get my house clean and keep my house clean. And the more people I found to surround myself with that didn't judge me, the more successful I became. And it's why I do what I do now, because we need people and we need to build that community in order to find the best versions of ourselves sometimes, because we're our own worst enemies most of the time. So when we find others that can support us and cheer us on, we're going to find success in life. It is absolutely possible if you're open to it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I think that like my journey in particular was kind of random, but not. Like I think I was just kind of divinely led to the right people. I joined a co-working group. At this point, I was already an entrepreneur. Yeah, I joined a co-working space, and the office manager is an ADHDer, and through her, I just learned so much. And again, she's just kind of learning by doing as well. But then yeah, I learned, yeah, just so many things. I learned about body doubling. So yeah, so with this episode, with your resources and everything, all the work that we're doing, hopefully anyone listening, and watching, you're not alone. If you, it's okay to be different. It's okay if people don't understand. But then also there are so many people who are happy to support you, and so many resources out there. Yeah. So thank you so much, Danielle, for joining me on this episode. And for all of you watching or listening, please like, comment below with your questions, comments, and subscribe to and get and click that bell icon for notifications on the next episode. Again, thank you,
Thank you for
Danielle.
having me.
Awesome. All right, that's it. And yeah, so I will come up with kind of an intro slide, send it to you for any changes.
I sent you my picture and I sent you my link to ND Hive, so you've got that.
Woo. And that's so cool for on your app. Are you excited for that?
It's been a 2-year journey to get here. So yes, so the desktop version, we actually go into beta in a week. So we'll start beta testing in a week. So the desktop version is working now. We've been playing with it internally, so we're good there. But we're purposely waiting for April to release the app stores.
Oh, that's so exciting. Well, all the best to you. And yeah, of course, all the information will be in the description box below on YouTube. And then yeah, if you have any questions,
email me when it goes live, and I will share. I will share and subscribe all of those good things, and I will share it on our social medias and all of that as well.